Eggplant Parmesan. So I was at the store the other day and the meat department was completely sold out. The produce department was pretty close. There was almost nothing left except for one beautiful eggplant. So even in a crisis, this wasn't something that people wanted to eat. They were going to leave it behind. And I know what you're thinking. This is going to be gross, but that's why we're going to bread it and fry it. We're going to bake these on the gas grill, and the easiest way to do that is to use a pizza stone to even out the heat. It works without it, but it makes it harder to mess things up. While that's preheating, we'll get the eggplant ready. Mrs GTE covers a baking sheet with a couple of tablespoons of butter, which adds a ton of flavor as it browns and ensures that every part of the eggplant touches some oil. Coat the butter with your favorite olive oil before you rub it in to make sure that you get an even coat. Next, we need to prep the breading that we'll use for the eggplant. That'll take 3 eggs and about a cup or so of milk. Mix it all together until it's smooth. For all the dry ingredients, start with a cup of flour and add a half a cup of Italian breadcrumbs. Now for this next part, you'll probably judge me, but I'm using the powdered Parmesan cheese that you'll find next to the Velveeta in the grocery store. It makes it a lot easier to do this, and we're only using about 3/4 of a cup. Add a half teaspoon of your favorite Cajun seasoning or some seasoned salt. Add a full teaspoon of garlic powder. And then mix it all together to get rid of all the lumps from that cheap cheese. Now for the moment of truth. I'll often buy 2 eggplants because some of them look great on the outside, but they end up being brown on the inside. This one was good, and we cut it into 1/2-inch slices. Coat the eggplant in the egg mixture, and then cover it with the dry mixture. If you're using the wet hand, dry hand method, you're a lot less likely to bread your fingers and make a big mess. Now always double dip your eggplant. Like a good paint job, the second coat makes everything come together and gives you a thick enough coat so you get a delicious crispy exterior and a soft interior. Once you've done one, you'll need to repeat the process another 20 times or so until you fill the entire pan. So we're going to leave it on the barbecue for about 20 minutes before we flip it, and then give it another 15 minutes after that. Now I get it, if you don't want to cook it on the barbecue, you could do it in the oven at home. Just set it for 375 degrees for about the same amount of time. You'll want to see the oil bubbling as it cooks, and that's a really good sign that you got the temperature right. The next sign comes when you're ready to flip, and you should see a perfect golden brown medallion. If you see some that are cooking too fast, just trade them with another one to help them cook more even. My grill is on a slant, so I made sure that the oil got to the other side, so everything got coated. They ended up cooking a lot faster on the grill than they would in the oven, but once they were golden brown, I knew that they were good to come off. And one pro tip, if you aren't going to use them right away, prop up the medallions on the edge of the baking tray, and that'll keep them from getting soggy while you wait for the pasta and everything else to be ready. We made some pasta off camera and covered it with some tomato sauce. Then we add the eggplant medallions, and I always go for the biggest ones because they're only enough for 3 per person in the family, and that means I get the most. So top it with some extra sauce, or in my case, lots of sauce, and then add some Parmesan or mozzarella cheese, but I only use the good stuff on top. I mean, after all, I'm not an animal.